I was born into a rich and important family in Tyrone, Ireland. I was the younger of two daughters, and we were the only children. My sister was 6 years older than me, so we didn't play much together when I was young. I was only 12 years old when she got married. I remember the day of her wedding well. Many people came, all of them laughing, singing, and happy, but I felt sad. When my sister left with her new husband, Mr. Carew, I cried. She was always very nice to me, nicer than my mother, and I didn't want her to go away to her new home in Dublin. My mother and father didn't love me. They wanted sons and were not very interested in me. About a year after my sister got married, a letter arrived from Mr. Carew. He said that my sister was ill and that she wanted to come home to Tyrone and stay with us, to be with her family. I was sad that she was ill, but also very happy about her visit. They're leaving Dublin on Sunday, my father told me, and they're arriving here on Tuesday evening. A terrible sign. Tuesday came and it was a very long day. Hour after hour passed, and I listened all the time for my sister and her husband. Now the sky was dark, and soon it was midnight. I couldn't sleep. I listened and waited. Suddenly, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I heard a noise far away. I ran out of my bedroom and down to the living room. "They're here! They're here!" I called to my father. We quickly opened the front door to see better. We waited there for a few minutes, and we heard the noise again, somebody crying far away in the night, but we saw nothing. There were no lights, and no people there. We went outside, waiting to say hello and to help my sister with her bags, but nobody came. I looked at my father, and he looked at me. We didn't understand. "I know I heard a noise," he said. "Yes," I answered. "I heard it too, father. But where are they?" We went back into the house without another word. We were suddenly afraid. The next day, a man arrived and told us that my sister was dead. On Sunday, she felt very ill. On Monday, she was worse. And on Tuesday, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, she died. At the same time that we were outside the house in the night, waiting for her. I never forgot that night. A new life begins. For the next 2 years, I was very sad. You could say that I stopped living. I didn't want to do anything or speak to anyone. Mr. Carew soon married another young woman in Dublin. I felt angry that he forgot my sister so quickly. Now I was the only child of a rich and important family. Before I was 14 years old, men started to visit our home. They wanted to meet me, perhaps to marry me, but I didn't like any of them. I thought I was too young to be married. When I was 16, my mother took me to Dublin. "Dublin is a big city," she said. "We're going to meet richer and more interesting men than the ones back home in Tyrone. We can easily find you a good husband in Dublin." In Dublin, I began to be happier. I met a lot of friendly people, and I went dancing every evening. A lot of young men came to speak to me and asked me to dance. I liked talking to them. I started to live and laugh again, and I didn't think about my dead sister all the time. But my mother was not so happy. She wanted me to find a husband, quickly. A rich proposal. One night, before I went to bed, she came into my room and said, "Do you know Lord Glenfallen?" "Oh yes," I answered. "He's that ugly old man from Cahergilla." "He's not ugly, and he's not old, Fanny," my mother said quickly. "He's from a very rich and important family, and he wants to marry you. He loves you." "Loves me?" Wants to marry me? But he's making a mistake, Mother, I said. I don't love him. I can't marry someone I don't love. Think about it, Fanny, my mother answered quietly. He's a good man, and he wants to marry you. You're a very lucky young woman. My mother left the room, and I sat quietly for a long time. Lord Glenfallen was a nice, friendly man, I thought. I didn't love him, no. But I did like him. He always talked about interesting things. I never felt happy at home with my mother and father, but I always felt better when I talked to him. The next morning, when I saw my mother, I said only one word. Yes. Cahergilla and the coat. Lord Glenfallen and I got married the next spring. 2 days after our wedding, we said goodbye to my family and left Tyrone. 3 days later, we arrived in Cahergilla, and I saw my husband's beautiful house for the first time. It was near a river, and there were many trees and flowers in the garden. Birds sang in the trees, and the sky was blue. I stood next to him and looked at it all, and I felt very, very happy. Come, my love, said my husband. You must come in and meet Martha. She cooks and cleans and knows everything about the house. We went into the house, and I met Martha, a friendly old woman with smiling blue eyes. She showed me around the house. Suddenly, I felt excited to be there. It was a very happy place. Women sang in the kitchen, men built fires in the living rooms, and there were dogs and cats everywhere. Come with me now, madam, said Martha, and look at your bedroom. Then we can take up your bags, and you can wash before dinner. I followed her, and soon we arrived at a big brown door. This is your room, she said, and she opened the door. I stood and looked, suddenly cold with fear. In front of me stood something big and black. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was an old coat, but without anybody inside it. I jumped back quickly, very afraid, and moved away from the door. Is something wrong, madam? Martha asked me. Nothing. Perhaps it's nothing, I answered quickly. But I thought I saw something in there. I thought I saw a big black coat when you opened the door. Martha's face went white with fear. What's wrong? I asked her. Now you look frightened. Something bad is going to happen, she said. When someone sees the black coat in this house, we know that something bad is going to happen soon, to the Glenfallen family. I saw the black coat when I was a child, and the next morning, old Lord Glenfallen died. Something bad is going to happen now, madam. I know it. The blind woman returns. A few days later, my husband brought home a blind old woman and said she could stay with us for a few weeks. I didn't like her, but I said nothing. One evening, I found her in my bedroom, standing very still and touching the furniture with her long fingers. What are you doing in my room? I asked. I lived here once, many years ago, she said. I remember it well. I was confused and a little frightened. I asked Martha about her. That woman, Martha whispered, was once married to your husband. She was the first Lady Glenfallen. I was shocked. But I thought she died. She lost her mind when her baby died, Martha said. She was sent away. People say she still comes back, looking for the child. The final terror. That night, I awoke to the sound of crying. I opened my eyes and saw the black coat again, but this time, it moved. It floated toward me like a shadow in the dark. I screamed, but no sound came. The coat touched my face, and vanished. The next morning, Martha found me shaking in bed. "You saw it again," she whispered. "Yes," I said. "Something terrible is coming." Later that day, a letter arrived. My parents were dead. Their carriage fell into a river on the way to visit me. I had seen the coat, and death had followed. The end. I never stayed another night at Cahargilla. My husband sold the house, and we moved far away. But sometimes, at night, when the wind blows through the trees, I still dream of that black coat.